Breaking news, guys! It's been a long time since I got to say that because, well, today we had a Hasbro live stream, and whenever they release one of these, they usually, showcase some new toys most of the time. So this time around, we have some new Studio Series figures. Now, it's been a while since I reported on any kind of news because, well, college has been keeping me busy, and you guys know the whole deal. I'm a very busy man, and I have like a lot of stuff to do on like the back burner. But since I figured, these are breaking news, we got some, new images, some upcoming toys and stuff. I figured that I could make the time to talk about it because, news updates videos are actually pretty simple. So we got some images for Ectotron, which is the Transformers, which is a crossover between Transformers and Ghostbusters. We knew about this guy for a very long time. Here's the way he looks like. We got some more detailed high-res images of him, which, knowing the way Hasbro went about releasing this guy, I bet that a lot of you guys never got a chance to getting this guy. Now, honestly, the vehicle mode looks amazing, and again, the world mode looks pretty good, and I do like the accessories. I am not a huge fan of the Ghostbusters, but this is one of those vehicles that, despite me not knowing much about the Ghostbusters, I never watched the movies, I just know they're really popular. I'm like, yeah, I kinda wanna get this guy looks cool. He's like the type of guy you would wanna have in your collection just because of his design alone. He also comes with a comic made by IDW. Unfortunately, Hasbro hasn't really learned anything from their previous, pre-order disasters. Because this time, this guy's a Target exclusive, so if you don't have a Target in your country, then sucks to be you, I guess. I bet TFM is rolling his bed right now out of frustration. Ectotron, the Ghostbuster Transformers, will be available next year on January 1st, 2021. So mark your calendars, folks, and it will cost $50. So, Hasbro's wasting no time in making sure you spend your Christmas money on one of their products. Now, next up, and I'm saving the best for last, don't worry. I know the big elephant in the room, but let's savor the moment a little. Next up, we got Cybertron Bumblebee. Now, I was very disappointed with Cybertron Cliff Jumper. I saw Prime vs. Prime's review on him, and the way his head looked, it looked like a giraffe's head, and some of the details about him didn't look that good. I will have to say that this mold looks really good at Bumblebee. Like, that vehicle mode, I love it. I think it's colored better than Cliff Jumper was. It looks great. But I don't know. He just looks like a plain recolor of Cliff Jumper. And yes, I know, okay? I know. Cliff Jumper and Bumblebee are supposed to be like recolor. Well, Cliff Jumper is supposed to be a recolor of Bumblebee, but this time Bumblebee is a recolor of Cliff Jumper, which is really weird to say. I feel like I need to wash my mouth with soap after saying that. But yeah, they're pretty much the same. If you have one, technically you have the other. The only difference here is that this Bumblebee is yellow and he has a new, helmet, new faceplate. Although faceplate is probably not the most accurate word. He comes with his battle mask, which I'm guessing that this is gonna be interchangeable with the other Bumblebee toys, like the G Bumblebee, which I got recently, and I have to say I love the G Bumblebee. If you don't have that figure, you're really missing out. Go get it, because I don't usually compliment Bumblebee figures because I feel like they're too overrated and like we have way too many. But G Bumblebee is easily my favorite Bumblebee I have ever owned, and I haven't owned much, just so you know. This guy looks cool. I'm probably gonna have to wait for Prime vs. Prime to get in a copy early and review him like he usually does. I should make a theory about how that guy manages to get Transformers toys really early. I bet he sold his soul to Unicorn or something. Guys, if you guys want me to make that video, I will. Just for funsies. But yeah. Out of the images here, he looks pretty much the same as Cliff Jumper. Same, same gun, same designs. Very minor differences. The main differences are the coloring and the helmet. Although I have to admit, I really do like the Cybertron backdrop in there. It looks very good. Now we can move on to the big elephant in the room, Mirage. Now, I know a lot of you guys have been dying for a Mirage figure ever since Dark of the Moon. I know that ever since Dark of the Moon came out, I was wanting that Mirage figure, and I was so disappointed that we never got one. Well, Studio Series has answered our prayers, and here we have Studio Series Mirage, and oh my god, he looks mixed. Now, I know there's gonna be a lot of people in the comments below that are gonna be like, whoa, that's awesome. Well, if you take a close look at the toy, it looks like this toy has some problems. Now, Laszlo Ben also made a video talking about how one of his sources reported that this toy is actually pretty flawed. Like, it has some problems with the transformations, with like the way it rotates around. Go check that video out for more details. I don't want to, you know, steal this information, but basically, from what I heard, this figure is gonna be another Studio Series Camaro Bumblebee from the first movie. I'm guessing the same thing is gonna happen here with Mirage. Now, his information could be wrong, okay? I'm not saying it's right and this toy is gonna be like bad. It could be amazing for all we know, but I'm just saying be cautious because I'm noticing some problems. But before we talked about them, can we just admire this Studio Series backdrop from Mirage? Oh my god, it looks amazing. Love it. This figure also looks like it can be posed quite a bit. As you can see here, they have no troubles putting him in various positions in some of these photographs. His head sculpt looks incredibly movie accurate. There is a bit of like blue paint job leaking into the red mold, which, you know, typical Hasbro, but hey, it's a minor detail, and I bet that that's not gonna be a problem with the other, you know, Mirage figures. Although it's a weird choice by Hasbro to choose this as one of the pictures that they will want to use to market this character. His arm blades, I feel like they're a little small, but then again, I understand, like, there's only so much you can do with movie accuracy, because then the transformation and the toy won't make sense. So understandable. Now here, if you look at this guy, it looks like he's posing quite well. His feet look like they have some extra supports in there so he can better stand and not fall. He has the car wings on the back, and I feel they're a tad too big. Okay, they're way too big. If you look at this image of Mirage in the movies, his wings don't really stand out that much. I mean, they stand out quite a bit, but I feel like in this shot in particular, it stands out way too much. Kind of weird, but hey, it will probably look better when we get the actual figure in hand. But now that I, you know, finished complimenting this figure, it's time to talk about the negative. Now, if you look closely at the chest is like this weird, I don't know how to describe that. Like, as you can see here, like the chest is like this weird dangling, you know, flat armor thing that connects to his crotch, and it gives the illusion that he looks, you know, like that. He looks ripped, but in reality, it's just like this weird, just piece of like, you know, armor just sticking out in there. Also, he has quite a backpack, which again, I'm not one of those guys who complains too much about the backpack. Like, for me, if I transform as a backpack, I'm like, you know, it's a toy. If you want a figure to transform from a robot to a car, it has to have a backpack. You know, you can like try and hide it as much as you want, you can minimize it on some occasions, but for the most part, backpacks are almost always gonna be in a Transformers figure. That's unavoidable. If you really want a movie accurate figure without a backpack, just go get one of the non-transforming ones, or go get one of the Prime Studios figures, which don't transform but are extremely movie accurate. This time around, the backpack looks a bit problematic, and also it's time to talk about the vehicle mode. It looks like they weren't able to get the license for the Ferrari. I don't see the Ferrari symbol in there, and the vehicle mode looks very mistransformed, clutter, I guess that's the word. Like, you can see a lot of the robot cable, and yeah, understandable. You know, Mirage is one of those characters that will be very hard to translate into a vehicle mode. I sort of understand it, but this looks very unappealing to me. Look at the car panels too. Like, it has holes in there, it goes up and down, zigzag here and there. It looks like this is about to break at any moment. Like, when I look at this figure, I'm like, someone get a bunch of parts together, just squeeze them together and put a bit of glue in there and hope that they stick together. Yeah, I don't really like what they did here with the vehicle. And also, I'm pretty sure this is not a Ferrari, because look, in this image that I found from a non-transforming, you know, Mirage figure, you can see that this vehicle mode is very smooth. You know, it has the Lamborghini logos, very, you know, circular. It has a lot of curves, but here this looks almost a little too generic for me. Like, the front of the car, they had the symbols. There are some changes with like the front of the car, how it looks. There's like that red piece that is in between, you know, the front bumper of the car. I'm pretty sure the way the headlights is wrong. The side mirrors of the car are alright, I guess. The back of the car looks horrendous though. It definitely doesn't look anything like what Dark of the Moon Mirage does. So they were not able to get the licensing once again. And I don't really blame this on Studio Series or Hasbro, because I think it's Michael Bay's fault for expensive cards, which, you know, it's really hard to get the license for. So I don't quite blame them. So yeah, I know I just went on a huge tangent about the car, but I don't like the car, which is a big shame because I was actually really hyped for Studio Series Mirage, but now that I'm looking at him, I'm like, I'm gonna have to wait for a review. Like, the way this guy looks, I feel like this is the kind of figure that people are gonna have a lot of problems with just by looking at it, because he looks very, I don't want to say broken, cluttered. It's like, it's weird. He just looks weird. Like, it's the kind of figure I need to see someone else having hand to, like, decide whether I want this or not. Now, I'm sure people are still gonna get this guy just because the last Mirage figure we ever had was this, which looks nothing like, Mirage does. At least the Studio Series figure looks closer to what Mirage is actually supposed to be. So for that, I think people will give it a pass. But at the same time, I'm like, you could have done a little better. And also, shame they didn't get a Ferrari. Now, I know that I haven't been reporting on a lot of the, you know, happenings of the Transformers, you know, toy universe ever since I did that live stream about Transformers Kingdom. And that's because, well, I've been busy. But another reveal, and I'll just mention it right now because people want to hear my opinion on it and what I think about it. We also had a reveal for other Studio Series figures. Leader Class Grimlock, which it looks amazing. I'm actually really tempted to get this because the only G1-ish related figure of Grimlock that I had is the full Cybertron Grimlock. And while I like that figure, it's not the best. So I might get this as a replacement. We also had Deluxe Class Blur, which it looks pretty good, but I think I'll skip. And Studio Series movie Starscream, which I love. And I mean, I love the vehicle mode. I kind of hope that for the final release, they put the Decepticon insignia on both wings because it looks weird, it just being on one wing as opposed to both for that, you know, G1 accuracy. The Royal mode, however, I'm not very happy with it. Now, don't get me wrong, the vehicle mode looks amazing, and I will get this just for the vehicle mode alone. And I do like the Blitzwing figure, the Blitzwing mode. I heard some people that they don't like it, but honestly, I like it, but it looks weird on Starscream here. Maybe it's the faceplate. I'm not a big fan of the faceplate, or maybe some of the color choice that they took for him, but I'm just not that happy with it. There's something about it that just bothers me. I will have to admit that it's pretty impressive that although this figure looks a lot like Blitzwing, that's still such a weird thing to say. I really do appreciate how different it looks and feels from Blitzwing himself. Like, Starscream over here is a remold of Blitzwing, and I'm actually pretty amazed that they managed to change him this much, yet I could still, you know, see Blitzwing be part of the Seekers, be part of a group. But Starscream here, maybe it's, I don't know, doesn't look that good to me. Maybe I'll wait and see until Prime vs. Prime inevitably gets his hands on this figure first and reviews it. But for now, this is a pass for me. I'll be on the lookout, but I'm not in any rush. And yeah, guys, those are all the news. Sorry if I took a while ranting or like explaining some things, but I haven't done this in a while, and I feel like this is a good way to catch up on some of the latest announcements from Studio Series figures. I might get Grimlock and maybe Studio Series Bumblebee if I feel like they fix some of the problems that the Cliffjumper figure had. And Mirage, he looks very underwhelming to me. Like, I was hyped for him, now I'm like, oh, you brought my hopes up and then crushed them. Starscream here, I'm gonna have to wait and see. Blur's a pass for me, and I'm still pretty hyped to see what Studio Series comes up with next. Like, Studio Series is one of my favorite Transformers toy lines in recent memories, and I do like collecting some of their figures, when they're good, of course. But lately, I feel like the latest batch of figures have sort of been a bit disappointing. I mean, the G1 movie characters are amazing and all, but I feel like on the movie side, some of the latest releases have been sort of disappointing, so yeah. But anyways, guys, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think of Mirage, let me know what you think of Blitzwing, or should I say Starscream. I'll never get over that. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, guys. But anyways, guys, before we go, shout out to our patrons: TrueBlue712, Stitch Productions, Stephanie Bowler, Christopher Prime, Frederick Hunter Plays, Mario Gordon, and the absolute madman himself, Jordan the Great, who donated $100. Thanks a lot to you guys. I tipped my fedora in gratitude. A link to their channels and our Patreon are gonna be in the description and in the comments down below. Make sure to go check out their channels. Some of these guys do pretty cool content, and if you guys want to shout out your subs, all you have to do is donate to our Patreon. By donating to our Patreon, you get quite a few rewards. You can collab with me in some of my videos, you get exclusive roles on my Discord server, you can request your own videos, maybe even appear in some of my videos if you so choose, and I'm adding more rewards as time goes on. So yeah, it's a pretty good deal. But keep in mind that it is completely optional because freedom is the right of all sentient beings. So yeah, thank you guys for donating, it's much appreciated, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.